Alright, so once again, we enter the cage, and we are talking about Next, a movie where Nicolas Cage plays a man named Chris Johnson. It's Chris with no C. No C. Chris with no H, by the way. Chris with no H. C-R-I-S, Chris. He's a man who has the strange ability to see 2 minutes into the future, to his future. And he can only see 2 minutes, and it only involves his future. You can only see his future. That is, until he starts having these visions of a woman who ends up being Liz, played by Jessica Biel. And so there's some kind of connection between them that makes him be able to see farther into the future than 2 minutes. And yeah. Meanwhile, the FBI, led by Julianne Moore, are trying to track him down because they think he can help find a nuke that's hidden somewhere in the city. Hidden somewhere by this terrorist group. And the terrorist group are also on Nicolas Cage because the FBI have interest in him. So, yeah. So, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I first watched this years ago. And I never wanted to watch it again. Just because the ending got me. And what I mean is, they put a twist in this that's so out of territory that you just, I don't know. This time it didn't bother me as much. Maybe because I knew it was coming. But the first time I watched this, I think I threw the DVD across the room. Obviously, I got the Blu-ray now because I wanted to check this out again. But, yeah. So, first of all, the acting in this is pretty good. Nicolas Cage and Julianne Moore, they're pretty good. You know, Julianne Moore gives it her all. I mean, she's out there, you know. She's an FBI agent. Sorry, that's the wrong movie, but yeah, and she gives it her all. Nicolas Cage is giving it his all too. I mean, he's not all Cage, but I think this is one of the better Nicolas Cage movies. I think that the pace is very fast. You're acquainted with Nicolas Cage at the beginning of this film. You establish that there's something he keeps seeing, and there's some kind of connection with this woman that he keeps seeing. He was going to this diner at the same time, 2 times a day, because he doesn't know whether it's AM or PM that he keeps seeing it. And then he meets her, and they go on a road trip, and the FBI catch up, and all this stuff. And then she gets kidnapped, and then he gets taken by the FBI. But then he sees the vision, and they gotta go. Then the twist happens. And yeah, but it's very good paced. And the movie is 96 minutes. And it's a quick 96 minutes. Boom. Like that. You know? I wanna say that the late great Peter Falk is in this. He has a little cameo there at the beginning of the movie, and that was pretty cool to see him. And Bobby Singer himself, Jim Beaver, is in this. He's with the FBI. He gets a little time here and there. There are some niggas I do have, and that, you notice when I talk about the acting, I didn't mention Jessica Biel. And that's because she's a little too much in this movie. She's just, I say the other two are giving it their all. She's giving it too much. You know, like he tells her what's going on. She's like, oh my God, shit. I'm like, calm down, woman. She's like, shit. I'm like, that shit, okay? She's giving it too much. She's putting too much out there. You know? Even when she's not saying anything, there's a scene where Nicolas Cage sees into the future and she's strapped with a bomb vest thing. And she's going, just breathing like that. I'm like, God damn. tone it down. Even when she's not talking, she's acting too much. It's too much. It's too much. Villains in this are terrorists from another country who rarely speak English. Here or there, but mostly it's just like subtitles. Please, there's no subtitles. And okay, one of my big complaints, besides the ending, we'll get to it, is that so Chris tells Liz that he's had this ability since he was born. Doesn't know where it came from, how he got it. He just had it since he was born. So he's dealt with it. He's making a living as a magician. Doing that stuff. I don't know how that helps, but it works. Actually, this whole thing kicks off when he tries to stop someone from shooting a couple people at a casino. And it gets misconstrued as he had the gun, even though there's cameras to show that he got the gun from the guy. Now, the FBI used that, which is subterfuge, it's lying, but they used that as a catalyst for a manhunt, which doesn't make any sense to me, but they can't just say, hey, he can see the future and we need him. So, yeah, and it's never explained how he got it, where it came from, and then you get this connection with Liz, and that he can see farther in the future when she's involved. But that's never explained. And the way the ending comes, we don't get a concrete ending to this film, so we don't know if it's because they're meant to be, or it's because they have some weird kind of connection. We're never told anything. Also, their love story is like that. Like, they go to the hotel, right? He says, I'll sleep out in the car. And so he sleeps out in the car, and she sleeps on the back. She's like, oh, we have one problem. He's like, no. I'll sleep out in the car. And so he does. And then the next day, or maybe that same night, something happens. They end up in bed. And the next morning, they're like a couple. They're kissing each other. He's putting his arm around her. And she gets confronted by the FBI. And they tell her what's going on. They show her the footage. And they convince her to put this pill in his orange juice that will make him fall asleep. Take 5 minutes to work. And she gets ready to do it, and before he can drink the orange juice, she's like, don't drink that, it's drugged, and all this, don't drink that. She whispered it to him and stuff. And it's like she had such a change of heart over someone she just met, and she was just told maybe a sociopath. Yet, her feelings, nothing more than feelings, overcome everything else. And, yeah, so they have some kind of love. Even to the point that when the FBI eventually does get a hold of him, and then Liz is also kidnapped by the terrorist. And he does that thing, because he can see hours into the future, he can see that she's been put on broadcast TV, strapped in the chair, and that it's going to explode, she's going to die. And he's got the look on his face like he just lost the love of his life. Man, you just met the day before. I've never understood romance in movies. You meet somebody, I get love at first sight. But, and I know he's seen her in visions for I don't know how long, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. How they can both, him being in love with her, that's one thing. But her being in love with him, despite the fact that, there's every alarm should be going off in her head. Especially when she finds out from the FBI what's going on, but no. So, what we got this climax of ours? Oh, get ready, because we're getting ready to go to the ending here. So, Chris and the FBI invade this place to stop them from getting to where they're gonna go to blow it up, and they rescue the girl. And this is done very well, by the way. You see multiple futures that he keeps plotting to go through, and it's very Christopher Nolan-esque. Even though this wasn't directed by Christopher Nolan, but you see this. He's go one direction, he sees something. No, he's gonna go another direction. No, okay, go that way. That's pretty cool. And the ending is they rescue Liz, and then he's like, I was wrong. It's happening now. And an explosion goes off, and then it goes back all the way to the middle of the film where he was in bed with Liz after they had sex. And they did the thing earlier where he just goes. But now, that's the ending. Everything that we saw from after they had sex was all one of his visions. And so then he makes a deal with the FBI that she will be, he says, I'll find you again, whether it takes days, weeks, months. I will find you again. Promise. And then he goes off with the FBI. And then the movie fucking ends. Yes, the ending lends itself to a sequel that we never got because they gave us a cop-out ending. Instead of them finding, where the explosives are going to be, they decided we're going to pull a fast one and show that everything in the third act part of this film was in his head. And that now it's going to change. And he has this pretty cool quote. What it is that he says at the beginning and end of this. The thing about seeing the future is, once you see it, it changes. I like that. But yeah, overall, I think that this was decently made. It had a good thing. I enjoyed this film. But the ending kind of blew it for me. I saw it coming this time, and ironically. So, my score for this movie. I'm going to give it a 7. I thought this was a decently made film. I thought it was pretty good. Even the ending's not too discouraging for me. I think after City of Angels, ending with that movie, I think this one, it was a better kind of ending. So, I guess the ending works, I guess what I'm trying to say. So, yes, 7 out of 10. What are your thoughts on Next? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. We'll see you in the next one.